Okay, guys, can I have your attention again? I know it was quick, but I have this all set for you already. So, as I mentioned before, I have this other file that I will send to you in your email. Please use that instead of the one you download because it doesn't have any of those really annoying pink boxes, and everything is in the order that it's supposed to be. Something funky with Creative Cloud, it can actually read that file. This was an old CS6 file that I had that I've just kind of saved as a picture file. But anyway, right? So what I have is I've got all of my letter forms on here, A through Z capitals, A through Z lowercase, 1 through 0, and then I don't have a lot of symbols, but I've got the ones that I plan on making for this. I've got a period, I've got a comma, I've got a question mark, I've got a exclamation point, I've got an @ sign, I've got a pound sign. Should there be more? Yeah, there definitely should be more. Remember, think about it. You're a user, right? You're a font user. How much of a pain in the ass is it when you go to do something and there's not a font there, right? Or like not a symbol there, or for me, it's always like when I want to make bullets. Like option 8 makes a bullet, and when I do that, I'm like, no bullet, because then I have to like play around with a period and make it bigger and play with baseline shift, and it's just more work, right? So you want as many of these things in here as possible, but it's your first font and you got a lot that you're doing, so I understand if you only have kind of bare bones at the moment. Optional letters, those are totally up to you to fill out, but you can if you want, 100%. So anyway, so after you have this is the hard job, right? It's the placing, right? And you've got everything on the baselines where you want them and all this sort of stuff. But this is the hard one. So after we do this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Photoshop and we're going to open up that PNG file, right? That other one we downloaded. So we'll open this up. Cool, right? And we'll go ahead and we will come over here to Illustrator, and I've gone ahead and I've got layers. So I've just got this one here on its own layer. I'm going to grab all these things at once. I'm going to say edit and copy. And then I'm going to come over here to Photoshop and I'm going to say edit and paste. And you'll get asked smart object pixels, path, shape layer. Here's the thing. If you did it right, these are the same exact size. So there's no reason it shouldn't be pixels. So I'll say OK to this and check it out. Now this is one big thing. Now what you don't want to do is you don't want to resize, unless you have to, right? Really, you just got to move it around, and you may want to zoom in. So I'm just holding down the command key and the plus sign just so I can kind of get in there, right? And I'm just going to place it. Now, when we look at this like this, it kind of looks like crap, right? It doesn't look so good. I'd like to point out that you haven't placed it yet. So it's going to look a little fuzzy and a little pixely at first, right? So when I'm happy with it, I'm going to hit return, and there I go. And now this thing is ready to go, right? And what I want to do is I just want to say flatten, and then I want to say file and save. I can save it as a pin if I want a PNG. I can do that, or I can save it as a JPEG. There's not a whole lot of difference, to be completely honest with you. So I'll save it as a JPEG, and I'm going to call it what it is. So Nix demo font, not pint font, and I'll hit save.
Are you still recording this?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll hit OK. And yes.
Is there a reason why you didn't use the copy paste shortcuts? Is that?
Because I'm recording a video.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
I just wanted to
Yeah. No, it's just because I'm recording a video. That's all. And now that's on the video. So then we're going to come over here to our website, right? Our myscriptfont.com. And so it's going to say upload the scanned image, right? So, okay, let's upload the file. Here's Nix font. All right. And this is important, right? So it asks you the name of your font. This is the one chance that you have to name your font. Because after this, you can't name it, right? Because it's going to push the font back to you with a name on it. And let's say you name your font like Untitled 4, and then you decide you want to name it to Breadman Microwave or something like that. Then you can't. You have to re-upload it and do the whole thing. You have to. So I'm going to call this lemonade stand dose. Is that how you spell dose? It is. And you can output it as a true type or an open type. It doesn't really matter, okay? Unless you went ahead and you did all those extra kinds of things underneath there, it's not going to really matter so much. So we'll go ahead and we'll just do true type and we'll say start. And it's the ghettoest looking website ever. It just is, but it works. And it says the quick brown fox jumps, and it kind of looks like that font, right? And I'm going to go ahead and just click on this, and I'm going to download it. And here's a font. This is an actual font file. Now, I would like to point out a couple things about it, right? So it rounded the edges a little bit, because what this font, or what this software does is it's kind of doing an image trace, right? I also lost my Y a little bit, and my Q, you see that? I lost some parts on it. So really, I should go back and I should check, and like, did they fall out of where they should be? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. So I'm going to check on that, and they really didn't, but I probably want to go ahead and I maybe want to tweak those, and then I'm going to upload it again, right? So I maybe want to modify some of those things. Here's the lesson. The first time you download it, it's probably not going to be perfect. But then again, you know what? I walked up to a slot machine at a casino once, and I pulled the lever, and I won $1,000. So you get lucky in life. But then there's people who like live on those slot machines and never win. So hopefully you're not those people, right? You don't want to be those people. But I'm just saying, like, don't do this 2 minutes before you got to hand it in. Do it with time, days ahead before you got to hand it in. So you can look at this and be like, I like it. I like what it's doing. I like what it's doing. What's up with that Y, right? So then you can go back in Illustrator and you can modify that Y a little bit and make it a little smaller if you need to. Go ahead and just modify the little swoop if you need to a little bit. Okay? Question.
So if I have like tons of symbols and stuff like that, which one would I want to pick? The true type or the...
Doesn't matter.
Wait, it doesn't matter.
It does. True type, the difference between true type and open type fonts allows for things like swashes or what we call glyphs. True type doesn't allow for that usually, and this isn't giving you those options to make those. So in all honesty, it doesn't matter, right? At one point, like long ago, it mattered. True type was really more for a PC. Open type was more for a Mac. You can use them across the board. It doesn't matter anymore. So anyway, though, I'm going to install this. So to install on a Mac, I'm literally just going to go click, and I'm going to say install font. And it installs, okay? And it's somewhere in here.
It's there now.
In the L's. There we are, right? And so I think I probably got to restart my software for it to show up, but maybe not. Test. Command T for the character palette. And yeah, I gotta restart. That's all right. So quit out of Illustrator, open it back up, and I'll be able to use Lemonade Stand Dose.
No, if you have an issue like with your Y or whatever, and you go to reload it, you still have to. Can you use the same name?
Yeah, you can use the same name, but I wouldn't. In all honesty, I wouldn't have installed it. I'm only installing it so you can see that it actually does work as a font.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have installed it. I would have previewed it, and I would have been like, there's something there, and then I would just go ahead and tweak it a little bit, upload it, and I would preview it every time until it's quote unquote right. Yeah, I'll just throw the file it's throw it in the trash, and you won't have anything. It's not, you know, like gonna screw it up or anything like that. And then, I mean, worst case scenario, you'd end up having 2 files called Lemonade Stand Dose, and like you could just install the wrong one. So you just delete the old one and put in the new one. But let's try this again. Test. And right here, Lemonade Stand. Oh, that's not what I want. Lemonade Stand Dose. It's really a font. The Y is funky, right? Not bad for free. Right? Pretty cool. It is, yeah. And you know what? I won't lie to you. Like, when you, all of a sudden, like, your handwriting becomes like a font when you tap A and you're like, that's my handwriting. Like, the last 15 weeks all make it worth it. Like, I won't lie to you. It feels good that first time you make your first font. And yeah, and like, you can get addicted to making them. Like, you can make a lot of them. And here's the best part: like, you can use them, and you can like, if you want, like, you got this font now, you could go ahead and you could, you know, seek out websites like thefont.com, and you could talk about submitting a font. And you just need to make a username and a password, right? And then you just kind of go from there. And like, they'll have, like, you know, certain things that you need for submitting a font, but it's really open and really put it out there. So if you want other people to use your font, other than just like the people you know in real life, you could do that. Like, you could throw it out there and the internet could be downloading your font. And you could be all like, well, I don't want them using that because it's mine and all this sort of stuff. But hey, if this is like your like, you know, jump start to kind of get into an industry like this, that's good, you know? I mean, like, the video you're watching right now is going to end up being on YouTube. Or it is on YouTube. Hold on. Where now I'm in this weird kind of thing. So, like, because I'm in real life, but I'm talking to the video too. But anyway, yeah. So this video is on YouTube right now. I have $0 that I get on YouTube, but if you want, you can subscribe, right? If you feel like it, that's fine. And that's how that works, right? And you could go ahead and you can subscribe to videos and channels and stuff like that. And then, like, if those people want to go ahead and, like, they're good at doing something, then they're like, hey, I got 14,000 subscribers. There must be somebody who wants to hear about that. It's the same thing with the font, right? You upload the font, 47,000 people download your font. Maybe you got something on your hands, and then maybe you have the ability to go ahead and start selling those things. If 4 people download your font, maybe it's not as good as you thought it was, right? So think about that sort of stuff for sure. So, but you can, 100%, you can upload these things to this as well. All right, questions about the process? There are other things out there like my script font too. This one just is easy to work with. It's just simple, right? And it works out really well. So I recommend it. But you can go ahead and you can look at other websites that have this. I was looking at this, Calligrapher, whatever that is, right? Fill out the template. Enjoy your handwriting is real fun. Be creative. Get started for free. No credit card required. That sounds like a trick. Get started for free. No credit card required yet. Okay? My script font doesn't ask for any of that. It doesn't ask you to log in. It doesn't ask to do anything. So that's why I use it. Okay? And look at this pricing. Yay! Yeah. So, yeah, you can do one at a time. You can work on it concurrently. Max number of characters, 75. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Totally up to you how you want to do this sort of stuff, but that's a cheap way to do it. That's actually, my script there is a free way to do it. Calligrapher kind of looks like a cheap way to do it. There's other softwares and stuff out there that are more expensive, but you can use them. So, questions? All right, good luck.